Hey there, traders. This is Shane, and it's Thursday, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, and this is the full trading day after the Greek crisis. I'm not going to say it's been fixed because it definitely has not been fixed. There's a lot of T crossing and I dotting to be dealt with first. But huge moves today in this Euro US dollar market, and the Aussie US had some really, I think, across the board. I didn't trade today. I had some appointments outside of the house today, so I didn't trade. But I'm kind of glad I didn't, because what a wild ride. A few things have happened. You know, I spoke about a level at 1.4000, which was an option there, got taken out, and a few more got taken out. Stops were triggered in, which kept this market just flying north. Now, a lot of people look at this, probably say, well, this market was working so well because of what happened last night. Yes and no. You know, it's not like a good news scenario. It's not like, it's fixed. We're going to start buying into it. No, it's a little bit different than that. Think of what happened last night. It has to do with, especially the bonds. It's a credit event, right? It's a credit. It has to do with credit. And it's not an entirely good news story whatsoever, because people that, there's things that are out there called credit default swaps, and I'll show you this in a second here. It's like protection, like I don't know, insurance on an investment. You don't even have to hold an investment, actually, but that's not the point I want to get at. I'll just bring it up now, right? Credit default swaps is hedge threatened by Greece debt plans. So basically what these people buy, these credit default swaps as an order of protection against what they're holding. And what's happening now is they're saying that the firms that sold $3.7 billion of credit protection on Greece to pay buyers of the swaps, they're not going to have to pay it. So the people that have bought these are it's worthless. It's not a good thing. And this market's huge. The credit default swap market's massive. It's, you know, this is 3.7 billion with Greece, and a lot of dangers with this. Unlikely to be triggered for payouts with a voluntary deal. It hurts the integrity of the CDS as a hedge. May diminish the usage. Be borrowing costs for sovereigns. Sorry, say observers. And here's what it says right here, you know, and this is so true. Investors' focus turned away from the deal itself, in which some private investors will take a voluntary 50% write-down on a notional amount of Greek bonds. So basically, to the potential lack of payouts on the insurance covering the losses on these bonds, and that's huge. So what you had a lot today was, you know, these bonds just dropping, and people buying into the euro US dollar. So it's not an entirely good news thing. And that's pretty much what had driven the thing for today. This is what I've been saying in the last couple of videos, that, you know, you want to keep your head kind of wrapped around this kind of stuff. You know, there's it's good to have a bigger picture, a view of everything. It can really help what you're doing, and it kind of helped me last night. I'm going to show you what I personally did, and it's only because and that's what this video is mostly about, is just keeping your ear to the ground and know what's going on out there. So last night, when this whole thing with Greece was coming across the wires, and, you know, everything was fine and whatever, you know, Asia was kind of dying down. The London session, which is the hub of the FX market for sure, had not geared up yet. So what I was thinking to myself was, hey, you know what? We're pretty close to this option at 1.4000. Let me just bring up that chart for you here. This one here, this blue line is, and I'm looking at the market around this time right here. So what's going on is the sentiment is up. It's up, right? It's going to be up, right? People are looking to buy into this, and there's so many stops that were behind these options, right, over here, just above that. So you want to get those triggered in, you know, and basically get out, and that's what I wanted to do last night. It was only a 30 pip jump for me, but there was no heat on this trade. But it was just, you know, the sentiment was up, and I talked about that my last couple of videos. Sentiment was up, and you knew that they were going to make a run for it. There's a whole lot of stops behind there, and it's good news, right? Because it was a credit event, it had to do with the bonds, et cetera, you know, that's big news. So obviously buying was the name of the game, that's for sure, not selling. For now, anyways, who knows what's going to happen later on. So just knowing these areas And so let me just bring up the other chart here for you. All right, this is what I wanted to show you right here. So this is around midnight last night in this area right here. Let me just grab something here so you can see this a little bit better. Right here, this is midnight around here. I mark it in. Mark it in right here. So I buy. Here's the 1.4000 area, and you know, I wasn't up for this. This is 2 o'clock in the morning right here, and simply all it was I just bought in. You know, had a very small stop, and was just looking for the punch up, and that's what I got. And usually, once this happens, you know, the traders that are trading this, you know, they take the profit, they get out, because, you know, yeah, this is going to happen. This happens over here, but you know, A, who knows it's going to be this huge, and B, you know, it's about probabilities, right? And this was a high probability trade, and I wasn't going to be up through London, and I knew the day for me was not going to be me sticking around here today, so it was just take what you can get, right? And that's the good thing about trading. So this is midnight here, gets out at 2 o'clock, punches up. You can see the retracement back to 39.80, about a 20 pip pullback, and then it kind of bounces around here until we start taking off. What's this time through here? That's funny, because it mostly waits until the US session before it starts pumping up. And boy, if you just take a quick look at the you know, some of the wires today, the markets are on fire today. So, you know, as long as you were looking longs and stuff like this, I'm sure a lot of people made some pretty decent money today for those that were trading it. But for me, like I said, you know, I talked about my last couple of videos, just knowing what the news is, knowing the sentiment for the day, what you can expect is going to happen, and this is what I personally was expecting. Of course, you have no clue it's going to be this magnitude. You know, who's going to know that this is the level here I was looking at? So I just take my profit just above the 4,000 level, 1.400 level. It went up a little bit higher, but I just took the higher probability. Just punched up to it, liquidate in that area right there, and then you know, that's it. It's an easy trade. It's a simple trade, and it's yeah, I say simple, but it's not. You gotta have an idea of what you're doing for sure. But you know, I guess the key takeaway for this video is you know, just because we see what's going on right now, and everyone thinks it's good news, it's good news, it's good news. You know, it's not good news, because you know, people are holding these dead instruments. You know, it's not working out well to them and for them, and the CDS market is might take a beating for this as well. You know, how can you, you know, as a trader or anybody else, invest in something that, you know, is teetering on the brink of just being you know, useless? You know, what good is it? So that's not entirely good news, but it is what it is. We just, you know, persevere, and we just deal with that as it is. But you know, if you traded today and you got some of this, you know, good for you, and I hope you're basing it on something, you know, that mattered, and you weren't just, you know, knee-jerking in. You were trading with some sort of plan, some sort of rules. You know, it'd be very difficult to lose much today, that's for sure. But I'm sure, you know, some people did, but you never know. I'm sure most people had an idea what they were doing. So that's that. Let me just see if I can get these links up here. They're pretty long. If you want to read into a little bit about the default swaps, credit default swaps, as this is big news, you know, and who knows what's going to happen after this. Once again, you know, you see these big thrusting candles. A lot of times what happens when you're looking these around round numbers, you know what's happening. People, you know, the bigger traders are driving the price up through these. And what are they doing? They're triggering stops. You can see right here, bust above 4,100, kept on going, take their profit, you know, over and over and over again until we got into this time here at 215. See what's going to happen later on. So that's that. You know, I don't think the issue is totally fixed in Greece, but that remains to be seen. And be careful out there. It's a crazy world. Thanks for watching.